Is Zane and the Hurricane 25 Broken People. Before my trip to Smellyville, the most people I'd ever been around was probably the day before Christmas at the mall in New Hampshire. Mom is really into it and always makes me go. Okay, that's not quite true because I like it too. All the sparkly decorations and the fake presents piled high in the store windows, and the trees decorated with blinking lights, and the phony Santas with their fake beards and padding, and so-called normal people wearing elf hats and ringing bells, and even the goofy songs they play over and over again in the background. But after an hour or two waiting in line and stuff, the crowd starts to bother me. Mom says it's about my personal boundaries, but does anyone really enjoy being shoved up against a stranger, knowing what they had for lunch because you can smell the salami or whatever on their breath? Ew, right? Okay, maybe that's stupid because what's going on at the Superdome is so far from Christmas in New Hampshire that it might as well be on another planet. The closer we get, the more people are wandering around looking like zombies on a long walk to nowhere. Some are trudging through nearby streets still covered by a foot of water. Some are huddled wherever they can find shade, fanning themselves with a piece of paper or cardboard, their eyes kind of stunned and empty. Some are pushing shopping carts full of stuff they saved from their houses, photo albums and suitcases and clothing and like that. The one guy in a torn t-shirt and pajama bottoms is shaking his fist at the sky and shouting out a tumble of words that don't make any sense, and Mr. True suggests we cross the street to the other side of the street. Ignore that poor man, he says. He broken. There are lots and lots of broken people. Old people, young people, kids, babies, mostly black folk, but some white people too, and a few in between who are probably look a lot like me. Not that I want to check myself in a mirror, not after days without a shower and wearing clothes that are baked in sweat and soaked in floodwaters and crusted with dirt from spending the night in the garden shed. Come to think of it, me and Melvina and Mr. True, we probably look like zombies too. The closer we get to the dome, the worse the smell. Okay, this is really gross, but the whole Superdome reeks of pee and poop. And if the outside is that bad, Mr. True says the inside must be worse. All of them folks crammed together in this heat. I don't know, darling. Maybe the dome plan is a mistake. But they got doctors, right? Malvina says. Must be doctors and medicine inside. Somebody to fix your foot. Bound to. I hope so, says Mr. True, but he doesn't sound like he believes it. When we get around to the main entrance, there are even more people, hundreds or maybe even thousands. Too many to count. Some gathered in family clumps and some on their own, some in wheelchairs or sitting in plastic milk crates. Some are crying and wailing and begging for help, and some are drenched in silence. Many are standing in the long, long line that snakes partway around the building and doesn't seem to move. Men in uniforms guard the entrance, city police and some of them, but most are army-looking dudes with helmets and combat rifles, looking like they'd rather be anywhere but here. National Guard, Mr. True says. They in charge. Looking around at the crazy scene, Malvina says, "Ain't nobody in charge." She turns to this old woman, propped up in a lawn chair, holding a rain umbrella over her head, attempting to shade herself from the sun, all alone with her belongings in a grocery bag at her feet. "Excuse me, ma'am," Malvina says. "You know if they got any doctors inside?" The woman shrugs as if they don't. The woman shrugs. "If they do, I didn't see none. Old folks dying in there from that terrible heat and no medicine. That's why I came back out to the street. They trying to do what they can, but there's too many people and not enough National Guard. Some of the young men are getting violent, making threats and smashing up soda machines and stealing what they can. Got so bad the guard don't want nobody more inside. They closed the dome? Seems like it. Might change their mind. They've been doing that a lot too." "Is that why all these people are in line?" The woman points with her umbrella. "That line is for buses. They keep saying, wait for the buses. Buses are supposed to take us away, make us someone else's problem. Houston, they say, or Atlanta. Anywhere but New Orleans. We've been waiting and waiting. They ain't no buses." Hearing the old lady describe the situation, Mr. True gets so discouraged he seems to shrink in his chair. He starts apologizing about messing us up, but Malvina cuts him off. You saying this is your fault? She says. Did you make a hurricane? Huh? Did you make those levees fail? Did you make the flood? This ain't on you, True. Yeah, it is, he insists. I should have got you out of New Orleans, like they told us to. Folding her skinny arms in defiance, Malvina goes, Was that old car of yours broke? Yes, it was. Broke and wouldn't run. Did we have money to get us to Baton Rouge or rent a motel somewhere? No, we didn't, 'cause you give all your money to help my mama. Did you save me from that rising water? Yes, you did. So do me a big fat favor and stop saying it's your fault. It ain't your fault. She screams the last part at the top of her lungs, so clear and strong that for a moment everybody in the crowd outside the dome stares at this skinny girl with the wild hair and the big voice. Not the least embarrassed, she looks right back at them and grins. True dat, she says, raising her fist. The words seem to echo through the crowd, repeating from one to the next. True dat, they all agree. Normally, it's kind of embarrassing when somebody makes a big fuss in public, but not this time. It's really cool hearing all these strangers agree with Malvina, even though a lot of them probably don't know what she's talking about exactly. The crowd doesn't pay attention for long, though, because a big booming noise comes rolling down the street, a shiny black Cadillac Escalade cruising along with wicked rims and the sound system that makes the ground shake under our feet. So loud you can feel it in your chest, rattling your rib cage. I recognize the song because it's been playing everywhere all summer. Lose Control by Missy Elliott. Boom, 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 boom. Chrome pipes out of sight. And sure enough, the Escalade has chrome pipes and blue lights and mirrored windows tinted the deep shade of dark. Boom, boom, shaking the air, shaking the earth. The Escalade stops beside us. A rear door opens, and out of the cool leather interior slips a scary-looking dude in designer shades and a gold chain. Dylan Toomey, big as life.